Sorry. Okay.
Stop! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Barely Barrel with Besties. I'm Thomas.
I'm Bianca.
And I'm wearing a women's shirt. So that was a thing. So that was a thing that happened to me today.
Okay.
Is that someone came up to me like, "Hey, you know you're wearing that's a woman's cut shirt, right?" I was like, "Yeah, it is, because it is."
Okay.
It's a women's cut shirt. You could sort of tell because it's like the sleeves are like shorter and tighter. And then on the tag it says like women's.
But that's a weird thing to notice. I
think it's a weirder thing to point out.
It's a weirder thing to point out.
But it was in such a way that I was like, I just want to make you aware that you're wearing a shirt that's not meant for you. And I was like,
meant for you?
They didn't say that, but it was like, I was like, I'll be honest, I didn't say this to them because I don't care that much. But I was like, I'm not. It wasn't like they said that and then I'm like, oh my God, you're right. I've been wearing a woman's shirt. What have I been doing?
Well, it's funny because we didn't watch that episode of The Office, but there's an episode of The Office where Michael wears a women's suit and the whole office makes fun of it.
But it's like I'm not. One, I'm just not against myself wearing clothes that are meant for a different gender.
Do you like that shirt?
Yeah, I love this shirt.
Shirt.
I'm not against if the clothes are not made for my specific gender. I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't wear that if I don't like it. Or if I like it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wear it. Also, I got this at a thrift store. So it's like I don't really care anyways. It's also literally the most unisex looking shirt I've ever seen.
I think everything Champion looks unisex.
No, and I like Champion. I'm starting to like Champion.
Everything they make just looks.
I don't like their shoes, but I like their clothes.
I have the comfiest purple sweatpants that are Champion, I think, and I love them.
Barely Barrel of Besties is brought to you by Champion.
Every week.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm into that.
That'd be so awesome. Champion. So
race car?
I just thought it was funny because it was like the vibe I was getting from them was like, you're a man, therefore you should not be wearing women's clothes. And I think we mentioned this on my old podcast. We were talking about the sunglass thing.
It's different.
Thing.
At least you're not wearing a shawl. I can't imagine.
That's why I brought it up, because I was like, if I was wearing a shawl, it'd be all over.
Oh yeah, no.
Like then
no coming back from that.
Then it'd just be like my girlfriend has to break up with me. Like I have to be gay because I'm wearing a shawl and a woman's shirt, and that so I just wanted to clear the air a little bit and say, listen, just because I'm wearing a woman's shirt, it's like I don't know what they're expecting there. Like,
yeah, no, that's
man. Oh my God, thank you. This is so embarrassing. Oh my God, I am wearing a woman's shirt. How did I get out of bed and like just not know this? I've had this shirt for like 2 months.
Wow.
And I've just been walking around dressed like a woman, like
in a white t-shirt.
In a white t-shirt made for women. I don't know how I live with myself, to be honest. It was pointed out to me that one of my sweaters, the white one, is also a women's sweater. But here's the thing, guys. I don't care.
Well, I don't know. And that sweater though, it looks like something Chris Evans would wear, and therefore you're fine.
Well, I don't even need that justification.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, Chris Evans looks really good in almost the exact same sweater.
Right, and I look just like Chris Evans, so.
That's exactly what I was.
Yeah,
saying.
that was your point.
That was my point exactly.
But, so, and I don't know. I almost said, I'm a man.
I'm a man.
Listen, I am a man.
I'm a man.
No, I identify as a man. But it's close, Especially the fact that most people have not thought, like, when I'm wearing clothes, I'm like, oh, he's clearly wearing women's clothes. Is like, okay, then it's fine. Like, what does it matter? It has the tag that says women on it. Okay,
Uh-huh.
But also, it looks good. I like this shirt. I like how it feels. I like how it looks.
Good. I'm glad you like it.
So are you saying you don't like this shirt?
No, I'm glad you like it.
I'm glad you like it.
No, that's the same thing. So someone came up to me this week and I was wearing one of my regular outfits, and someone I kind of know came up to me and they said like, "Hey, I like your outfit. It kind of matches." And I was like, "Thanks, thank you." I think
that seems more like an awkward.
You.
They're just awkward and didn't know what to say rather than like they genuinely.
No.
It kind of matches.
No, it definitely.
That's a filler word.
It definitely was fully meant as a compliment.
Yeah.
But it was it very much was. It kind of matches.
It kind of matches.
Yeah, good try. I like it, but good try.
Listen, you
Keep trying.
you did great. That's a man's shirt, by the way. Just wanted to let you know. Like, I don't know. It's clothes, and I like something about. I don't typically comment on people's clothes unless it's good or like obviously funny. You know, like if they have that, that like Three Wolves shirt. That, like,
yeah.
If it's like one of those.
But don't comment on that. Some people like those shirts.
No, but I'm saying, well, okay, you know what? You're right. No. Also, I don't typically comment unless if it's not a good thing. I don't comment unless I know people.
Well, can we say what we're talking about though? The shirts that have like the moon and like the three wolves.
Yeah,
like how
you'll see it like Walmart, or you'll see it.
We think those
like,
are funny.
No, because they are funny. They are, but if you're walking around,
I would never tell someone.
If you're walking around wearing that, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
But if my friend buys it, I'm going to say something because I personally think those are egregious.
But I think that's another line of like. Maybe you can comment on someone's clothes if they're your friend and you want to like give your opinion. Not like.
I think you got to be careful with that. Typically, I don't talk about that unless it's a compliment.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, hey, I really like that jacket. Hey, I really like. I'm not gonna be like, man, your clothes kind of match. You know.
Okay, but if you were wearing something and like it really didn't look good on you.
I don't think I'd want to know.
Really?
Because at least
you
for
haven't.
me,
I'm not saying
at least for me, when I pick an outfit out, I think it's going to look good. So I just don't want that opinion, you know?
Yeah. To be fair, I don't either because I recognize...
I know, that's why I would never say anything. If it's like...
Well, I recognize that my style doesn't match many other people's styles. Mm-hmm. It's very much so what I wear.
Yeah, it's right. What was the other thing someone said to you? Like, oh, but you just look so colorful.
Yeah.
Which is also not a compliment.
No, but it was meant as a compliment.
Did they say it? How did they say it?
Almost exactly how you just said it.
Oh.
But I really think they meant it as a compliment.
Interesting.
And they're someone who doesn't wear a lot of colors, so they kind of didn't know how to tell me I looked colorful.
Sure, okay.
And they're like, it's colorful.
Oh my. Like, that's just not a compliment.
I've gotten that twice this semester. People telling
you you're colorful?
Yeah,
you are colorful.
It's true, and I do take it as a compliment, and it is meant as a compliment from both of those people.
Sure.
But it also a little bit doesn't feel like one sometimes. Like, it's colorful.
What would you do? Like what are those backhanded compliments sort of things? Just like, man, you are so brave.
Yeah.
For wearing that outfit.
Yeah. What did someone tell me one time? Someone said to me like how did she say it? It was like, man, you really know your style. I could never. And I was like, I do know my style, and you could never.
Whoa! I need to know afterwards. I need to know who this is. But
I know you could guess. Wow. Yeah.
That's not. I don't care what. Someone's dying back there. There's no way that could ever be construed as a compliment.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
There's literally no way to take that as a compliment. I don't. You okay back there? I don't even know if this is picking up because, like, if the. There's an avalanche happening in the room next to you. Some people do podcasts in like a diner.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how, but it's like I was listening to a podcast. One of my favorite podcasts, Casual Interactions. They do it in like a restaurant.
Yeah. And
like you don't really notice because it's like they have a good setup and they're sort of in the corner booth and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you'll just hear like a dish shatter. They're probably in a Chili's, and like, is that a thing? Is that like one of those things that like people just understand? Every time I go to a Chili's, I hear dishes shatter.
I just think that happens.
Yeah, but like it's always Chili's. It is always Chili's. Every time I go to
Chili's that often.
You shouldn't. I
remember we had like an event one time at school, and then a couple of us were going to Chili's afterwards, and we were telling our professor that we were going to Chili's, and he was like, stay safe. And I was like, what does that mean?
Also, you know your style.
stay safe wearing that. That headband with those shoes?
I wouldn't feel safe wearing that outfit. Like,
but it's the headband shoes.
Oh, wow, you went outside like that? I have so much respect for you. You went into a Chili's wearing that? That's a Waffle House outfit. Like,
hey, ow! Ooh, that one kind of stung a little bit.
No, yeah, it should.
You should wear that to Waffle House.
You should. Ooh, it's giving Waffle House.
It's giving Waffle House.
That's the worst thing you could ever say to someone ever.
Yeah.
What if someone said it's giving Cracker Barrel though? Because I love Cracker Barrel's food, but is the aesthetic of Cracker Barrel something I want to be associated with?
Okay, here's what I think.
Clothing sense.
You have to be saying it to the right person wearing the right thing, because if they're wearing like, I don't know, even like suspenders or like, you know what I mean, like something that looks older. Okay. Not that suspenders are bad. I love suspenders.
No, I have a lot of suspenders. I'm gonna wear suspenders next week.
Good deal.
Count on it.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
are you saying that's a good thing? That's the good scenario to do, or the bad scenario?
That's the good one. It makes sense.
Or if you're wearing clothes you bought from Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, but I think even like a sweater or something cozy, like Cracker Barrel. Okay. I think it wouldn't be taken as a compliment, but I think it could be said as a compliment.
It depends. I feel like if a random person, I think what we're discovering or what we're figuring out is if you don't know someone, don't comment on their clothes unless it is literally just something very straightforward, like, I like your jacket, you know? Don't say, like, oh, your jacket's so colorful.
Oh, I would say that.
Well, you also say things in inflection where you, like, mean... I think people need to be aware of how they sound. Yeah. Because some people just, like, say things pretty deadpan, and then it's like, okay, well...
There's one professor at our school. I don't know her.
Those shoes? That headband?
I don't know her, but I walk by her office every day on the way to one of my classes.
Oh, you were telling me about this.
I love her. I love her so much. Every outfit she wears, and I always just see her in the halls and whatever. And so the other day I knocked on her door, and she opened. I was like, I'm sorry, I know this is really weird, but I just love everything you wear. I think you're the best.
I just love you.
I said that too. I said I just love you.
Well, yeah, but there's a difference. There's a difference. It's always, I feel like it's most of the time not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah, and
so if you just walk it, I love you.
But then she said, she was like, oh, and I really like your socks, because I was wearing crazy, colorful mixed match socks or whatever. Yes. And she said, well, let me show you what I have. And she pulled up a picture. She has, you know, like at a mall, the things that like spin and you can look at the other side.
No.
She has one of those for her crazy socks. That she's kind of like made.
She's made the socks?
No, not the socks. She made the thing.
Oh, she made the thing. That's even cooler.
It's so cool.
I think being able to build your own stuff is
and I was like, see, I knew I loved you. And so now every time I pass her office, she's like, I like your outfit. And I'm like, I like your outfit. And
one day you should just be like, just walk past and be like, listen, you know your style.
You know your style. You really do. And then she would take it as a compliment.
Yeah, but...
Because I would mean it as a
compliment.
compliment.
No, but you should just walk past and be like, you're colorful today. Then just stare. Then just walk away.
But I like being colorful. Okay, anyways.
No, I know.
This has been a really long intro that has nothing to do with our topic.
Yeah, but are you having fun?
I'm having so much fun, Thomas. I always have fun.
Listen,
This is the best part of my week.
Listen, some people just wouldn't be comfortable posting a zero-effort podcast on the internet, but you do it so well, and you own it. If somebody says that to me, I would cry. We put in so much effort.
We really do. We try.
Yeah, no, we actually do try a lot.
This is the hardest I've tried at like a, how do I say this correctly? Like this is something we're doing like just for fun. Right. Like we're not like getting anything out of it.
I mean, I don't know.
Other than the inevitable 15 cents.
I know.
We're so close.
Spotify has just offered us an ambassadorship program, which means we get, I think, 1 cent per every 10 views or something like that.
We're gonna get there. but like I think this is the hardest I've tried at something that is like just for fun. Yeah. You know, like it's not. This isn't a job. We're not like. No. We're not. This is just for fun, but like we're really making a thing. We're doing. No,
yeah, and so we put in a lot of effort into it, but we also, I think, just a testament to our, I almost said performative ability, but it's more just our talking ability, is that we can have a topic that's sort of vague, like the one we have today, and just do well with
well, yeah,
out an outline or without a script or anything like that.
Do you remember when we were set on our episode's going to be 20 minutes long?
Right.
We're just gonna talk for 20 minutes so we don't have to have too much pressure.
Well, and here's the thing is that
we can't do it.
We can't.
But
we were both so convinced that's what we were gonna. We were like, man.
You were convinced.
No. But here's the thing. You never said anything. You never said anything.
I didn't
because
correct
you were weak.
But I silently knew it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, but like, and that's why you have to get if you're gonna do something like this, you have to get a co-star that you respect, who you're willing to say hey, I don't like your idea, and Bianca just isn't that. So I'm actually looking for we have an opening.
Oh, do we? You're gonna come into my room every week?
Yeah, but guess what? We'll stick to the 30-minute schedule like we planned, and then...
Okay, sure. Anyways,
Bingo can. Yeah, we can stick to a schedule, right, Bingo?
Bingo.
Hi, we should just start talking to him now.
Hi, Bingo. How are you?
Bingo, what do you think about that? No microphone.
Okay, so anyways.
Then you can do his voice. What would his voice be?
We gotta do the thing. We have things to do. So we were talking a couple weeks, I guess, not last week, the week before, about like VHS and things like that, and we were like, oh no, it was the DVD in the car.
Right.
That's what it was.
It was just like games that used to be on DVDs.
Yeah, and we were like, man, we're old.
Yeah, it's a lost art. I think you'll see as we're going through this, you'll see media. There's not a lot of effort being put into media anymore. It's not like it used to be. No, I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, it was so much better back then, because it's not particularly better. Like media or just all of these things, they're not better. They're just different.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not better.
But it depends. Like I think I don't like a lot of movies that come out now, but that's just more my taste rather than like, oh, they're just definitively better back then. And then,
yeah. Well, but
and there are a lot of redos.
Because we talked about that, we were talking about doing kind of a throwback episode of like the late 90s, early 2000s things that we grew up with. Because we really kind of are an interesting generation that grew up at a weird time, especially technology-wise.
Right.
But in general, it was kind of a weird transitional time in between not really knowing what technology was, and now everyone knows what technology was.
Right.
We were the transitional generation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so, and like, especially with technology, we were talking about a few weeks ago, it's like you could be in a class with someone who has never touched a phone before. Like, maybe they don't even have a landline in their house. Someone who had an iPhone, someone who had a flip phone, and then just like someone who just has like, a DS, Wii, and then someone who doesn't even have a TV, or they have the TVs that have the little antennas sticking out of them still. So it was a big transition time period that you're not really going to see as much now.
Right.
Because like, so at least for me, I got my first phone when I was like 17.
And then, so this is a great example because I got my first phone when I was like 7.
Right.
And it was a purple Razor flip phone.
Right.
And it was the best. And I'm pretty sure the only like numbers I had on it were my mom, my dad, my best friend's mom, I think my grandparents. Feel like that's it. And then by the time I was like 12, I had a couple friends' phone numbers in my phone. But like, that's all I really had. That's all I needed. And that's why I had a phone, because I needed to be able to contact parents and stuff or rides. But also, I do remember that it had Frogger on it. My phone had Frogger on it, and I was like, I'm the coolest person in the world.
Before those flip phones, I never had a flip phone. My first, I will say, being, even for our generation, even though you're a little older than me, but like, being...
Thank you for saying it on the podcast.
Being 17, getting your first phone, that was still old. I was still like very late to getting a phone. But so most people typically, I'd say they got their phone sometime in like 12, 13.
Yeah.
It's like 17. I did have, there were 3 people. I was one of 3 people in my freshman class that did not have phones, because it was like, oh, let's do a group project. What's your phone number? I'd say, well, you have to email me. And I was like,
but you know what that means though? That means that you've made, in my opinion, less embarrassing content. In your youth.
Oh, for sure. No, yeah, I'm saving all the embarrassing content for now.
Shout out to my friend Ace. You know who you are.
Oh. Yeah, no, I definitely... No, but here's the thing. I didn't have a phone, but in middle school, my family had an iPad. We won it in like a raffle.
Oh, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, so we won it in a raffle. So I remember... I don't have the video, so don't ask. I don't think we have the iPad anymore because it would be like 10 years old by now.
Yeah.
But I had my family had an iPad and we'd like take turns playing with it or whatever. And so I decided to try my hand at making videos.
Yes, you did. Of course you did.
So I did one video where basically I decided, this was, I think, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I was in 4th or 5th grade.
Okay.
And I decided.
It's a great age to make videos.
I had just gotten, it was Christmas night. Mm-hmm. And I had just gotten a Lego set. And I decided I was going to be a person who reviewed Legos.
Yes. Yes, you were. Oh
so
my gosh.
I did this video, maybe 10 minutes long, where I just reviewed this Lego set that I had just built. Like, I got it that morning, and then I built it that night, and I was like, okay, I'm going to review this set, and I'm going to talk about it. And talk about all the like little figures that are in it and like what the things that you can like move and do this, and if you do this it like shoots something, like that kind of thing. Uh-huh. So I did that, and I'm sure it was amazing.
Yeah.
I do remember there was one part where my sister figured out halfway through that I was doing this, so she was like, I'm just gonna mess with him. So she would start like throwing popcorn at me, and she would like walk in and just start dancing. And I was getting furious because I was like, this is my big shot. Listen, toy reviews.
They were the thing.
They're actually...
They are now.
They are now.
Yeah, they...
in 2010, when YouTube was just starting, I don't think they were.
I just want to say, I think they're the weirdest thing. I don't get it.
No,
I don't get it at all.
And there are different ethical questions around...
No, yeah, for sure. That's not what I'm talking about. But I know kids that would, like, rather watch someone review the toy than play with the toy. Whoops. Sorry.
This is right next to the microphone too.
But like, and that's bonkers to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I mean, I think it was, for me, it was like, okay, I would like watch all the like, okay, oh, this is the like, because I love Legos. I still like, if you got me Lego sets, I would still build them. I would have nowhere to put them, and that would stress me out. But like, I would still build it. But I would look at like the super expensive. Oh, this set's $300. So I would look at that one, but okay, well, I'm never gonna get that one.
Right.
So like, I'm almost living vicariously through these people. I don't remember, because I was watching. Like, I didn't just decide I was going to do Lego reviews. I'm sure I watched it on YouTube and then was like, okay, I can do what this kid's doing. And I'm sure he got famous off of it.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And so I put on my Instagram of like, tell me things you remember from like our childhood of 90s, 2000s. And I had like 5 people say this, and which shows how crazy popular they were.
But I don't remember. I remember that being no. I remember these. I don't remember them being. I'm thinking
they were
4th
the
or
greatest
no.
But
I'm remembering 4th or 5th grade. But I don't know. Do you like? I think it was like later in my childhood.
Well, so I'm talking about silly bands, which were, I'm thinking 2010.
Yeah, so I would have been in 4th or 5th grade.
What year? What do I do?
2008.
2008. Okay, that makes sense.
But I think they were popular early 2000. So I would have been like 3rd or 4th grade.
But so silly bands, in case you don't know, for our younger listeners, are bracelets that when you take them off make shapes.
Yes.
And so they had like animal packs, they had like rock and roll packs. Mm-hmm. We all lost our minds because they came out with a gymnastics pack.
Really?
They had gymnasts.
Oh my god.
And so it got to the point at the gym where we had to be like, hey, ease up on the silly bands, because we would wear them
so what the kids would do
is
they're basically just rubber bands, right? And the kids would me too. Well, not me. I think my sister. I don't remember. I didn't have a lot of them. Because I do remember vividly, we were like, hey mom, can we get these? Everyone has silly bands and they're awesome. Yeah. And then my mom was like, this is stupid.
No, they're the coolest.
But these kids would literally have their entire arm like covered up with silly bands, and it was like a status symbol.
But they would do trades too.
Yeah, we would trade them, and
some of them, it got to the point where they started making ones that were multicolored. So like it was an ocean pack, and they were blue-green bracelets.
Oh, like ombre.
Yeah, gradient.
They were an ombre.
They were an ombre.
Yeah, so those were a thing. I don't know, like, do you think trading things is a thing kids do? I don't want to sound super out of touch, but I don't
I
don't have any children in my life. I don't have like nephews or younger siblings, so I don't know. Like, I don't have access to, like, super young kids.
I kind of don't think so, because...
like, we used to... Like, that was the thing we would do. Oh, we would have, like, Pokemon cards.
Like, everything is on, like...
Right.
The iPad, on the phone.
Yeah.
And so, like...
we would have...
trade phones.
No,
like...
well... No, I bet kids have traded phones, and parents get really mad.
No.
No, listen, my friend's case was yellow, and I want a yellow case, so we just swapped phones, and it's like, oh, my God. I'm sure that's happened. But... So what we would do as kids, we'd have like either trading cards or silly bands, or we had like little toys and we would trade them and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's a thing.
Kids do make the like rubber band bracelets.
Do they still?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do, because kids will make them for me. I can't believe I'm not wearing one right now.
Wow.
Okay. Someone commented the Weebles. They wobble, but they don't fall down.
See, I
Weeble
don't.
wobbles.
I remember the commercials. I never had them.
Exactly. I remember the commercials. Never had them. But the commercial was always on.
Okay, we had a whole conversation about this. So Smensels. That's a thing that, like, our friend Joe, who I used to have a podcast with, he told me about. And I was like, I don't know what that is.
Are they the smelly pencils?
Yeah.
So I've never heard anyone say Smensels.
I think that was just the brand he had.
Okay.
But I remember, and they still have these. They were like those markers that had, like, you took them off, they were like scented or whatever. I do remember those, and I think they still have those. But Smensels, like...
I hated the sentence that was just in my head, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyways. Okay. Because I was thinking, like, I don't really think they super make the smelly markers or pencils or scratch and sniff stickers, and I was like, man, these kids don't get to smell anything these days.
Oh, these smell deprived kids.
These smell deprived generation.
Man, the phones are just ruining just numbing these kids' minds and their senses. They probably won't even, like, in 50 years, they won't smell at all. They don't have a reason to.
Will they invent phone smell?
Scented phone cases?
No, like, you can send a smell.
Oh. Like apps, like 5D, like apps that just like, oh, this is, you're playing Fruit Ninja, and it's just like you chop an orange, and then all of a sudden just like orange.
Okay, because like the new iPhones that have like the 3 cameras, but then one of them is to capture the smell and send the smell.
Oh, we're getting too advanced. This society has gone too far.
But no, I loved those things, and they always smelled like so real.
Exactly. No, they were great.
Yeah.
Okay, soccer boppers. Do you remember? I don't know what that is. Okay, so soccer boppers are literally these, like, almost like inflatable. They're like water wings or whatever, but they're like gloves, so then you can like punch.
Oh, fun.
You can fight other people, and then it's like not. But they hurt. I mean, it's not like, it's literally you're just getting punched with like a really hard, like, floaty.
I've never heard of
those. So it was like, the kids can fight each other, but they're not going to get hurt. And I guess he wouldn't get hurt, but it wouldn't feel good.
Okay, and then someone said floam.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Okay, floam, it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like sticky, stretchy, that you like build with almost.
Yes, no, I already remember.
But it reminded me that we used to get the commercials all the time, but then I got it at one point, moon sand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did have moon sand, and it was such a ripoff.
Okay, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Because I genuinely believed it was sand from the moon.
Oh, okay.
I was certain, and so like nothing else about it mattered to me. Like if you couldn't build with it, or if it wasn't the magnetic whatever thing was supposed to do, I was like, this is sand from the moon. Right. Nothing else matters.
So this is just for context. If you don't, this was a time period where, like, regardless of who you were, at least when we were in like elementary school, the only media you really had was TV. Not a ton of people had like computers that they could, and YouTube, at least for a little bit, didn't really exist. And Facebook, I think, was just starting out. So everyone watched TV, and so during the commercials, they would advertise. At least on the kids' channels like Disney, Nick, Cartoon Network, they would advertise toys.
Right.
So they would advertise those toys that is like, okay, if you call this number, we'll give you 2 things for free.
I always imagined that kids would call that number.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I ever called.
Like, what?
It was because you could just go to Target or Walmart and they'd be in the toy section too.
Right.
But you could literally, you could call them. I don't think anybody ever did.
I'm sure people did.
Or I don't know anybody
I'm
that
sure
did.
people did.
I think they're all dead now. I think that there's like a kidnapping scheme. Because like I don't know anybody that called them and lived.
No, because they would say call now.
I know you'd say call now.
Discount.
And I remember as a kid.
Now, it'll be a 10% discount.
I remember as a kid I was like, well, we gotta call.
Gotta call right now. And I remember kind of thinking like, whenever the commercial came on, they would like track if you call during this commercial, then it counts.
Right.
But if you call any other time,
no, but they don't count.
No, of course not. But I was sure that's how it worked.
Yeah. Well, and so that's what kids were seeing. So you'd be like, that's the way that these toy companies would advertise a lot of these things, and a lot of these things were like made for that. It was like, okay, it would be like in the as seen on TV aisle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't really see like moon sand. It would only be like. Your Floam or even soccer boppers, like like all of this stuff would be on those commercials, and as a kid it'd be like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever.
My mom did say though for me to keep in mind that one, I was raised in the gym, so I didn't have a lot of the like fun as seen on TV stuff, but also we didn't have internet until, or not internet, we didn't have TV cable until 2004. We got it just for the Olympics and then got rid of it. And then we got it again for the 2008 Olympics.
Right.
So like when I was a little kid, we didn't really have TV.
Right.
Right. Whereas most everyone else had like TV.
Right.
Moon shoes. I never had moon shoes, but I remember the commercials. They're like
those are the little bouncy things.
Yeah. Furbies freaked me out.
They should.
I never had one. Have you ever seen the picture of the Furby without the fur? He's scary.
Oh my.
Scary. I didn't go to public school, so I don't know.
Okay, so one of our friends said that like those little, so what you do in gym class sometimes is you have little like scooters that were basically just the things that mechanics like sit on to like roll under cars.
Oh yeah,
but they're just little colored like.
And didn't people always run over their fingers and stuff?
Yes. So this is one of the things I was talking about is so somebody asked me recently like, hey, what's the worst part about being tall? And there's a lot of little things. Like I've always been taller than most kids in my class.
Yeah, me too.
And you teach children. You teach elementary school kids. What a flex. It's all starting to make sense now. So I would never fit on these things. And that was a big source of stress and depression for me. Is I just could not fit on these little scooters because you'd sit on them and you'd like do games with them. I don't know. It wasn't a common thing. It was like, that was like the thing. It was like, hey, in PE, we don't have anything to do today. So we're just going to play on these things and like do races or whatever they did. So those were things that would.
So someone commented Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
It's a video game.
Which I was just gonna say though that I remember Tony Hawk being everywhere, and I didn't really know who he was except for skating.
Right.
But what this reminds me of is there was Disney Channel, and then they created Disney XD.
Disney XD.
And I remember it being like, oh, this is Disney, or Disney XD is for like the skater kids.
Right.
That's who that's for.
It's for kids that are cooler than us.
Yeah. That's not for me. I'm on Disney. The cool kids go to Disney XD.
Right.
And that's what that reminds me of.
No, for sure. Okay, Webkinz.
There is a Webkinz sitting on my bed right now.
Okay, so did you ever do the game though, or did you just do
my best friend did? Okay. My best friend did the game and was like super into it. I just had the stuffed animals. I think I tried to register one of mine at one point and then was like, I'm not interested. So
Webkinz is a really genius concept. I'm almost positive it still exists.
Really? You think so?
I bet the website's still up.
What's the one that just died? The Penguins.
Club Penguin. So online games, so going on your computer and just going on a website, they exist, but it's more like centralized to like you go to a website like Steam and you can buy the game there. But like free-ish online games were very popular at this time, right when like more and more people were getting computers.
Yeah.
So a game like Webkinz came out and they were like, well, a free game isn't going to make us any money, and having a subscription is not really popular. The only games that were doing that were like World of Warcraft, and that it was big but for more like teenagers,
right,
not for children. So they wanted to exploit children.
Genius idea.
Yeah, so they decided, okay, well, if we sell these stuffed animals,
right, each
stuffed animal comes with a access code that you can then use to play in this game.
And they have on the bottom of their foot the little Webkinz symbol.
Right.
And that's
yes,
of it.
that is.
They don't know.
Yes, they do that. So This was common. I don't think this is as common anymore. I know Nintendo tried to bring it back, but basically just buying a physical thing to translate into a video game. Like, that was very common back then, too.
That is a thing right now, though.
No, but it was huge because you had things like, you had things like Skylander, which was like you could only play a character if you bought the little statue of him.
But that's what, there's like a Disney game or something. That's a big thing right now, that you have to get the
They're trying to bring it back. I can't imagine it's as big as it was.
Yeah.
But, and I remember as a kid, I had this game called You Be Funky. And it was basically just like you buy a little plastic character, and then you could register that code or whatever, and you could play it in the game.
Okay, so did you have a Nintendo growing up?
Yes.
What kind of Nintendo did you have?
I had a DS, and then I had a GameCube.
Okay, I had a Nintendo DS. It was pink.
Okay.
Pink stylus and
red.
Everything. Oh, okay. You were a red Nintendo
guy?
Well,
I shared it with my sisters. So.
Okay, cool. And the thing is, though, I don't really play games. I'm not too much of a game type person.
Sure.
But the 3 games that I played more than anything was a Barbie's 12 Dancing Princesses Game Boy type of game. Okay. So like there were the chips and then the ones that go on the bottom. Right. It was the one that went on the bottom. Whatever. Sorry, I got stuck in my words there. But it was the coolest game in the world, and I loved playing it. It was the best. Mm-hmm. And then I had a game called Monkey Ball. Yeah. I love the Monkey Ball. Monkey Ball was so much fun.
Really? Okay. I got frustrated. I was bad at it.
I was good at it. It was one of the only things I was good at. And then...
'Cause I had a Monkey Ball game for the GameCube. So
okay, yeah. And then the only other thing I had, because of course I did, was Nintendogs.
See, we had Nintendogs and we didn't like it.
I loved it.
I don't like that, like Tamagotchi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't like those types of games. It stresses me out to like keep things alive.
Well, and see,
I would be a horrible father.
I was
Listen,
committed.
You're stressing me out. You require way too much. You want to eat? I just fed you. I fed you yesterday. What do you want from me?
But I was very committed to those dogs. I had about 12. I just kept getting more. Right. And one of my favorite stories, real quick, that my family still makes fun of me for, is I had a dog. It was like a little like cream-colored fluffy dog, and I was like, oh, I have the perfect name. I'm gonna name him Puddin'.
Puddin'? Okay.
But I was real little.
That's what I'm gonna name my firstborn. So
that's what you should. Yeah, deal. That's what you have to do now. But
pray for them.
But well, hold on. I'm gonna make it worse. You know, when you're little, it's hard to differentiate between some letters like B's and D's, P's and Q's.
So you wrote.
I named him Quidden.
Quidden.
Well, we've just called it Quidden forever.
Quidden? That's cute.
So.
Oh, that just reminded me.
I had a dog named Quidden.
No, because that is what we were going to name the podcast. Do you remember that?
We were going
to name it Quidden.
That was a thing at one point.
We were going to name it. It was Cutting Up with Thomas and Bianca.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, that was the one that we were like, that sounds good enough. We spent about 2 months trying to figure out a name, and the only one we were like, that sounds okay, was Cutting Up with...
You were saying Cutting?
I was saying Cutting, and that was the pun. Okay, well...
Wait, what was the pun?
Cutting up? Mess... You've never heard the term cutting up before?
No.
So cutting up is like, oh, you're like messing around. Like kids, oh, those kids in the back, no, they're just cutting up right now. They're just being annoying.
I've never heard that in my life.
That's because you didn't go to public school. In the South.
Never heard that in my life.
JT, quit cutting up back there. Okay, so then, why did you agree to that? Like,
I didn't like it.
You said, and this is the problem, is that she's just gonna silently hate things. I feel like she silently hates the name of this podcast.
No. Well, what it was that we were apart and talking this way.
Right, and so I remember,
I can't say this way. It's a podcast. Yeah. Electronically.
Yeah, we were texting.
Talking. Yeah,
so
that's the word.
So then why did you you were like, oh, that sounds okay, like you genuinely did not understand any part of what I was trying to say to you. You didn't understand the pronunciation I thought you were saying. You didn't understand the pun.
Nope.
You were just like, oh, it sounds good to me. All right.
No, well, I said I believe I was.
I don't care.
I was like added on the list. I never agreed to it. It was a long list.
Pull up their seats.
Okay. Someone commented the iDog, which was like...
Was that the little robot thing?
Yeah, with the lights that moved. And I thought it was weird.
Right.
And it played music from your iPod. Which, I can't remember if we talked about this on the podcast or if we did. The iPod Shuffle I had.
Yeah.
Scratch, Sniff, Snicker. That was good. Easy Bake Ovens. I never had one, but people liked them.
No, I remember thinking as a kid, that's not cooking it. That's it. Because
light bulb.
No, because like Disney shows would like make fun of it, and they'd be like, "Oh, I just used my Easy Bake Oven," and then they just like eat it, and be like, "Oh," and I'd be like, "Oh, well then clearly these don't work."
Right.
And then I'd hear kids who had like Easy Bake Ovens, I'd be like, "Jerk." They don't understand that it's not really cooking it.
Someone commented, burning CDs, which makes me laugh.
So I used to burn CDs.
Of course you did.
I still,
That
if I had a computer that was capable of doing it, I would still be burning CDs.
Mm-hmm.
I used CDs in my car.
You do?
I don't use them as much anymore since I got Spotify. But I use consistently, like the only way I would listen to music when I was driving, either to school or whatever, was with CDs. Until like beginning of, I would say sophomore year of college.
Whoa.
was when I stopped using CDs and got Spotify.
Yeah.
So I use CD and so burning CDs was like, and burning, I don't know where that comes from. And I think it's literally just like burning like codes and stuff onto a disc.
I just want to say really quick though, I don't understand that at all.
No, I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense to me how the music gets from there to there.
Yeah, so what?
Like, I don't care if I sound dumb.
What you would do is you would have like there's certain computers had it. Basically, if your computer had a CD disk drive, you could do it. I only figured out how to do it in high school, but you could stick it into this like disk drive and sort of download, and there were like programs and stuff like iTunes. You could burn CDs. You used to be able to. I don't think you can anymore. You could directly burn from iTunes. Mm-hmm. Like you could just, if you had bought the song,
that's what we did.
Yeah, you could just like burn them onto the CDs. So I had a few. That's how my first album I ever made. I just burned like 40 CDs and I just like sold them.
Do you have them still?
I have one in my car. I don't have the physical disc so what I also did is I printed out on a printer the cover, and I just like bought, or I think I was gifted a bunch of blank CD cases. Nice. So I would like put the sleeves in there, and like I designed all of them. Or well, my girlfriend at the time, who was better at art than me, she designed all of them. Mm-hmm. So I just like printed them all out. I put them in, and then I burned the CDs. And I tried to find like stickers to put on the CDs to make it look good. Yeah. But I was like, for some reason I didn't trust them. I was like, if it's stuck and the sticker comes out into the disc drive, that's gonna be a problem. So I just wrote the album name on every single CD.
Nice.
I think I sold like 40 of them.
Awesome.
It was for charity. I raised like $200 and something.
That's really cool.
And then the charity I sent it to never got it. Like they just didn't accept it. Weird. Because, well, that's a whole different story actually. But my friend, one of my friends at the time was like, "Oh, you should do my family's charity that they were running." So I did, and I found out that charity wasn't a scam. It was just very poorly run.
Gotcha. Well, so we had...
That's bringing me back. That's some Thomas lore right there.
We had CDs, we had to play CDs at the gym because, you want to have music throughout practice, and I lived at the gym. Mm-hmm. And so
I don't know if you've explicitly said that you own a gym.
My parents own a gymnastics school, and so I have grown up in a gymnastics school, and that's my life. Mm-hmm. I live upside down.
That and podcasting. Sponsored by Velveeta and Champion. What was the thing last week? We had another. No, but the other one. We had another one. Oh shoot. You think we know stuff about our we don't listen to
We just have so many sponsors.
We have too many sponsors to keep track of.
But anyways, I remember like we had one specific CD that a teammate made that lasted us the whole time. Like years. And the first song on the CD was Shakira Waka Waka. And that song starts
That's a good song. Yeah.
Like really loud.
Yes.
And so every time I would run over to the stereo, turn the music all the way up, and press play on the CD, and just like do like yes. And I would scare someone every time. It was the best.
That's great. So there any?
Polly Pockets. Heck yeah, yes, loved Polly Pockets. The amount of Polly Pockets I had is ridiculous. Heelys.
Yeah, so I remember when Heelys came out, that was another thing that you would see a lot on TV. They're basically just shoes that have like these wheels in them. So immediately.
Did you have Heelys?
No.
Okay. I
was too cool for that. Immediately, my school, as soon as they came out, said, "You are not allowed to wear Heelys." So I just never got them. Now that I'm a teacher, I can do whatever I want. So I could be the teacher with Heelys. Now, I don't know if they make adult-sized Heelys anymore.
Custom made. You can custom make anything.
Oh, good. Because I'm just going to fork over $100 for Heelys.
It'll be more than that.
I know. That was being generous. I I know you had Heelys.
But you don't. Because I wanted Heelys so bad. More than anything.
Yeah.
A bunch of my friends had Heelys, and I was like, please can I have Heelys?
Sure.
And I don't remember what I had to do. But there was some sort of like deal with my parents. Okay, if you do these things, we'll get you Heelys. And I did those things. I can't think of what they were. But so they got me Heelys. I put the shoes on. And, you know, so you can walk in the shoes.
Yes.
You can also put the heels in.
But they're not, I would imagine they're not particularly easy to walk in, are they?
No, they're fine. No, it's just like a hole cut out in the middle
No, you have to take the wheel out to walk. That's what it is.
Yeah, the wheel comes out. So we put them on and I start walking around and I was like, these are so cool. And my dad's like, okay, do you want me to like put the, what is it called?
The wheel?
The wheel, yeah. He's like, do you want me to put the wheel in? I said, no, I just want to walk in them. And he was like, no, the point is like to roll. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And he's like, but
thanks for the extra expensive shoes, Dad. But
and he's like, but don't you want to roll? They're Heelys. I'm like, no, I just want to tell people I'm wearing Heelys. And it didn't have the same effect. Like, I'm wearing Heelys.
Do you still have those shoes?
I would doubt it.
We need to get like Besties like custom shoes.
No, I donated them.
Like we need like blue and like pink or like peach shoes.
Yes. Real quick, flip phone lip gloss palettes. They were lip gloss palettes shaped as a flip phone, and so you would open it and then do your lipstick and close it. Coolest thing in the world.
That's great.
Thank you for saying that, Warren. Zoo Pals. Zoo Pals.
Okay,
Olivia
so I
always had those. My best friend.
I have a thing that's similar to like your Heelys story with Zoo Pals. So Zoo Pals are plates that have like the faces of animals in them.
Zoo animals.
Right.
But they also have like the ears.
And the ears are also like sections.
Because you would have your big meal and then your two sides.
Right.
On the ears.
So I remember getting really upset because I never had them. Like my parents just didn't buy them.
Expensive plates. That's
they're expensive plates that are maybe like small. They're like small little party plates. But they I remember I went to a party and they had them. And I remember getting really upset because it was like one of those things the parent was just like making the plates and she made it was like a hot dog or something like that and like fries and she squirted the ketchup on the like face or on the ear and I was like, oh my god, you're covering the animal.
How is he gonna hear?
Apparently I just wanted these plates to just like play with the animal.
Right, that's all we wanted.
Yeah, which is a really expensive, stupid way you could just make them. But so I remember being really upset about that and being like, oh my god, you just ruined the plate. Because now after I'm done eating, I'm not going to be able to just like have the plate. I don't know what I wanted to do with it. I was just like, now it just has ketchup all over
Right,
it.
No, that's what we wanted. Okay, real quick.
Also, the person who commented that is way too old for those. I don't know.
That's not true. Stop it. Just real quick on this one. Someone said her favorite memory from childhood was snow days with sled riding till you can't feel your fingers and toes and then Coco in a movie. And only reason I'm bringing that up is because I remember that with like the old school Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movies, the like weird ones.
The stop motion ones?
Yeah.
Right.
I love those. So that's why I bring it up. It's relevant because of the movies.
Okay.
And I remember my favorite thing was there's a part in the movie where Rudolph like flies or something and then Clarice, the girl reindeer, is like, I thought you looked cute. And he goes, I'm cute. Yeah. She thinks I'm cute.
You're
and
right.
that like dumb
I'm convinced
voice.
the actor for Rudolph was just sick. Just really sick the whole time we recorded that thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm from the South. I don't really know about the snow thing, but we're going to continue.
Any of those?
No, I mean, none that I care about.
I don't think ring pops are like specifically our generation.
But they're not common anymore.
Really?
They're just
they're
like,
around.
I'd rather just have a lollipop.
So Megan, our friend, wrote a whole story about the password journals that she had.
Oh my god!
And that was a big thing of like various diaries and journals with different ways to lock them up and stuff.
Right.
And so
I think kids were like in love with the idea of, or I think secrets. At least what I was in love with the idea of like secret stuff. So that's what like Disney Channel and Nick is like. Oh yeah, no, the kids, they have this little secret basement, like a little door under their bed, or they have a little, like Narnia, they have the little closet that they can go into. They're in their own secret world, or they just have the secret diary that they're like super secret agents and they have the little password for and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing though, I think our phones are like that now. Because like you have your
That's
super
secret,
you have your super secret like journal, like your notes app.
Yeah.
And you have a password for it that no one knows except for you.
It's true.
Listen, there's magic everywhere, folks. You just gotta find it.
But I had the Barbie Diaries.
Oh my god! One. That one specifically.
This one specifically, I found the one that I had.
That looks like a wallet. How big was it?
It was square. It was a square
Interesting.
size.
Okay.
But so it has this like butterfly that comes out of it at the beginning, and you have a matching bracelet. And to open it, you have to have the bracelet, stick the bracelet on the thing, and then it sings like ah, and then it opens.
How?
It was amazing.
Is it magnets or magic? Or both? How do magnets work?
How do magnets work? But it's, I don't, and it was like sparkly and iridescent. It was so pretty.
Iridescent?
Yeah.
Do you know what that word means? Because I don't.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but.
Then you don't know what it means. Okay, let's see.
Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Pokemon.
No. Okay, so.
These things?
So I do want to point out, too, I don't know if that's changing. I don't know how popular toys are. I know they're probably popular with like very little, with like very little kids who are very tactile. But like after elementary school, once you get a phone, I feel like that's all over.
Yeah.
But this was a time. Go back to the.
Sorry. I didn't mean to get
there was a time, and I imagine it's still marketed like this. But it was like, okay, you have the boys' toys.
Yeah.
The toys that are for men, for
toys
boys,
for men.
And then you have toys for men, and then toys for women. And so your friend just listed out all the things that I had, which were things marketed towards men or towards boys.
Yeah.
So Bionicles are basically like Legos, but like it's like the Disney XD version of Legos. It's like the edgier Legos.
Can I tell you what I thought though? We have a friend who has called me that for a while.
Just calls you Bionicle?
Yeah, that's what I am in his phone.
Right.
I think.
Did you ever look up what it was?
I never knew. I thought it was like what are the things called?
Monocles?
That's a joke I thought he was making. I thought it was some sort of joke about a monocle. But with
but that's name. Just your grasp on the Latin language is just pathetic because bi is two, okay. So why would it be a monocle?
Because I thought he was making a joke with my name. I thought he was mixing the two. I don't know, and I never really thought about it until either you or our other friend was like, you know, he means the whatever.
The toy, yeah.
I never heard
like
him.
Lego-ish kind of toy. I never had Transformers, so I actually didn't have a lot, or I didn't care for a lot of the stuff that were super popular or still very popular, like Ninja Turtles. Never got into that. Transformers, Pokemon, I never got into. I can respect it, but it's like I never got into that.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people are like Pokemon's the best thing
yeah.
ever. I just never got into it, and
I will say that's still a thing.
Pokemon, yeah.
Yes, no, because I know a little boy who has a whole.
Oh, the cards.
Yes.
Oh, because I know the video games are still a thing.
No. He has the cards. He's really proud of his collection. He gets the cards. He was showing me all of them.
If you go to a Walmart, like a big Walmart, next to the because they have different sizes and stuff. But if you go to like one of those big Walmarts, they have next to the cashier, and I think Target still has them too. Next to like the cash registers is like a wall with like trading cards. Basically, I think they just printed too many and they're trying to get rid of them because I don't think like baseball trading cards are popular anymore. At least nowhere near what they were.
Yeah.
I never got trading cards because like I would rather just have all of the cards. I don't want to trade stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't like giving stuff up.
No, but that was a thing at Disney World too. So Disney World, they do pins that you get to like wear.
Okay.
And you would have a lanyard and put your pins on it. But at Disney World, all the people working there also have a lanyard with pins on it. Mm-hmm. And you can go up to anyone, or you used to be able to, I don't know if you can anymore, but you used to be able to go up to any Disney employee and say, I'm trading your pin for this pin. And they had to give it to you.
Wow.
And I have a crazy amount of pins on that old lanyard. It's ridiculous. But I would go up to every single one and be like, oh, this one for that one. That one's much cooler than this one.
Wow.
And it was great.
I would be devastated. I could never work at Disney.
I doubt that's how it works anymore. But
no, I don't. That doesn't sound like something they do anymore.
Yeah.
Free stuff at Disney? How long have we been going? I'm just curious.
Probably way too long. But we talked for a long time before that. Right.
Okay. So we can do a few more. I don't think we should do the quizzes.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Do you have a few more or have any more?
This thing, I don't know how to explain that. The like aquarium thing that lit up and stuff.
Yeah, I never had one of those. What about are snow globes popular still?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
This is just us proving that we're just out of touch. Our snow globe. Do the kids like snow globes?
Like snow globes.
Then the kids, those kids and their snow globes. What the heck is that?
Lisa Frank?
Who's Lisa Frank?
We just lost a bunch of our audience.
Who the heck is Lisa Frank?
Lisa Frank.
Is that one of those things? Because again, during this time, things were things
You're
marketed
right. No,
towards
you're
kids
so right.
were very gendered. So it's like you had the things that this is what the boys look at and this is what the girls look at. Oh,
Lisa Frank.
Yes. Okay. No. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how to explain Lisa Frank.
It's very colorful.
Yeah, it's very colorful.
It's really colorful.
My
you
style,
look like you would.
I am Lisa Frank.
You're the adult version of Lisa Frank.
That's such a compliment. But yeah, it's just like lots of colors. They have
See,
like all the notebooks.
Here's why gendering toys is bad. I think this is awesome.
They're so cool. But they also
it's just like super vibrant rainbows.
But she also had like makeup kits and stuff like that. But
like
it was
toys.
mostly, I don't know. She kind of had everything. Everything could be Lisa Frank.
It's just like a brand that just has a bunch of super, super, super colorful stuff like unicorns, aliens, all this. I want that on my wall. The alien one.
Pretty cool.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. I remember that. Of course, I never had it. But I remember that. So let's see. Yeah, I don't care about that.
Soda flavored chapstick. That's a good one.
That's still a thing. I mean, I think it's definitely a novelty thing. But to be fair, I currently have cotton candy flavored chapstick. Mm-hmm. That's not soda, but like they're still doing like chapstick, like different chapstick stuff. Now I'm talking about it. I have to do it.
Danimals. I never really had Danimals. Someone else commented the Danimals sweet.
Those are like yogurts, right?
With the Zach and Cody. Like whatever.
I'm trying to think. So Danimals is like was a yogurt company. I don't know if they still exist, but
I don't know.
They're just super sweet, like super sugary yogurt for children.
Do you remember the going to?
I do remember that.
Going to so on Disney Channel they would be like ask your parents and then go to DisneyChannel.com whatever. But then the specific Sweet Life of Zach and Cody like pizza game where you had to like run, you were Zach or Cody, you had to go through the lobby and like that was the best game in the world. And
that's a thing that does not happen anymore. I guarantee that does not happen anymore. So TV shows for kids would have on the like Disney Channel or Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network website games based on the TV shows that you were watching. So they don't do that anymore for sure. I remember once I was so upset. I remember there was some game, I don't remember what it was, but I loved it so much. I played it every single day. And then I remember I couldn't find it. Like I would look it up and I just could not find it. And I think I remember I got my mom to like call the like helpline and they're like, oh yeah, that show isn't on air anymore. So we took the game off. And I don't remember I cannot remember what it was. Part of me wants to say it was like a Billy and Mandy game. Interesting. Okay.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Purple Place.
Purple Place was a game that, at least for me, the only time I saw it was when I would go to like the library near my house. As I would go to the library, and that was before we had a computer. The only place you could go to.
Mine was my grandparents' house.
The only place you could go to get on a computer was the library. So you would go to the library, and like my mom would be looking for books and stuff, and I would just sit there and play these games, these like free games on.
They were so much fun.
On the library computer.
But they were weird like bakery games where you could like bake cakes and they would come out right or wrong and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like that takes me back. But then also there was the game My Scene, which you definitely didn't play.
No, but my sister probably did.
Yeah. So My Scene, I don't even know what we did with them, but we designed shoes, designed outfits. Mm-hmm. It was like a fashion game. They were cool girls. You wanted to be them. I wanted to be her specifically. She was really cool. But anyways, and then we're almost at the end here. My mom commented,
I said just a bunch of TV shows we don't have to remember.
My mom commented Bianca receiving a Blue's Clues backpack for Christmas was a top 10 highlight in her life. And she's right.
Is that true? Okay.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. That was one of my defining moments in life.
Okay.
What the kids now talk about like core memories.
The kids now?
Yeah, they talk about core memories. That's a thing now.
Is that because of Inside Out, or is that
it because of Inside Out?
Because I'd never heard the term.
Now it's
core,
everywhere.
But I'd never heard the term core memory before I or before Inside Out came out.
Right, but now it's everywhere.
So it's probably, I think it was an Inside Out thing, and then it became a TikTok thing, and now it's just that's just a way to describe one of your favorite memories as a kid.
Core memory. List goes back. I think that's really all.
All right. Yeah. So, and again, it's one of those things. I don't think it's necessarily better. I think definitively we can say
we could not take the quiz, but go through a couple.
Because we have a story to get to.
We have a story too.
Yeah. It's about technology and technological advancement. That's why I chose it. But yeah. So I'm not comfortable saying it's better. I just think it's different.
Now or then.
Either. Like I don't think either is better. I think definitively being on your phone all the time, and I'm guilty of this, and you're guilty of this.
What?
Is not a good thing. I think most people would say.
I'm really glad my phone is videoing right now when we can't check my screen time.
You can't check your screen time.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but so I wouldn't say it's better. It's just different. I don't know. I would love to see the psychological research on are kids happier? Or do you think that they have a lot of, well, for sure. I mean, there are a lot of reasons for that too. I think COVID definitely put a big wrench in everything.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would imagine, because I remember once I got a phone, I don't remember things as well, so I don't have as many developed memories. I wonder if that's a thing. When you get a phone, it's okay, I don't remember being on my phone that much, but I do remember when I went outside or when I did this or when I played with these toys or whatever.
I think it adds a lot more stress in life for kids because, I don't know. And it's just hard to handle so many things, and
your brain isn't meant to do that,
right? And you don't really know how to talk, how to type yet, how to have conversations,
right? You don't know how to do that, but you also have this idea that okay, I'm not seeing them, so I can say whatever I want, and I feel like that's a problem that we're seeing, and I wonder how that works out too. Is because I've noticed people are, and maybe that's just because I'm old and cranky, people suck at emailing. I'll get emails from either students or from people
I hate emailing,
and they'll just say, hey, what's this, and just nothing. There's dear whatever or hi or I have signed this or sincerely or whatever.
I have one professor that said, please don't email me, this is my phone number, just text me.
Which is so bizarre. You'd think you'd want to keep those things separate. I don't want to look at my phone and think...
No, I think he has one of those this number is gonna go to an app or whatever.
He has a burner.
No, not a burner phone, but it's a separate way of getting messages.
Yeah, and that's completely different. I mean, you have just access to everybody now,
right?
And it's almost this stress of especially I would say for dating too. It's okay, you text someone, they didn't immediately text you back. What's wrong?
That's not just with dating. That's friends.
And that's friends in general. It's wow, okay, they didn't text me back. Wow. Okay, I see how it is. Even though it's just people are busy sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think it's just different. I'm not comfortable saying it's worse or better. I think there are certain aspects that are certainly worse. I think there are certain aspects that are certainly better. And I just think we're just getting to see that, and we're getting to see it live. And I feel there's always going to be this. I think it's a requirement when you get older to think, well, I like these things better when I was a kid and stuff like that. What?
I remembered one I forgot to say.
Okay.
Because there was last year, there was one night we were up really late watching old infomercials of old commercials, and I screamed in your ear so loud, and I haven't stopped. I felt bad about it ever since.
I don't remember this.
It was a commercial.
Yes. Okay. No, I do remember this.
It was a commercial for Bumpits.
And I don't know what that is.
I screamed Bumpits because they were these headbands that you put under your hair so that you would have that big poof.
Like a perm.
No, not a perm at all.
Oh shoot, what is it called?
It was just a poof.
Right.
You just it was a thing you wanted. At home it was called the Bimford Bump, but I don't know what it's called in real life.
I hate the Midwest. If you're from the Midwest, I just hate you. I'm sorry. Because I hate that term.
But yeah, you would put the Bumpit in your hair, and then your hair would go over it, and it would be big and poofy. Bedford Bump. It was the Bedford Bump. Not Benford. That's the wrong thing. That's a school.
All right. So just sort of on this trend, our story of the week is we were talking about how being on a phone and being connected to technology rather than going outside or having toys or having tactile things to play with could be affecting I would say it's certainly affecting how people interact socially. I don't know if there's going to be a trend of people being, on average, children being more or less introverted. I would imagine probably they're going to be more introverted if they're on their phones a lot. I don't know that, though. I'm not a psychologist. But one particular convenience store in Japan is leaning into that market of just introverted. Oh, no! Jeez. Is just introverted. I don't know if that caught, but I just kicked the microphone. Of just introversion, but I think this is more just a convenience thing. So Lawson's is basically like the Japanese version of like a Dollar Tree or something like that, or a Dollar General. So they have teamed up with the electronics company Panasonic, and they are making robot cashiers. So so think of like self checkout. That's something that's becoming more and more common in every single place you go to, especially like big companies like Walmart and Target. But imagine that you're doing that, but instead of like either having a bagger or a cashier there's a robot that you can talk to if you want to. So it says that the convenience store chain Lawson and Panasonic and the Panasonic Corporation has started testing staffless register, for which a machine settles the transactions and packs the purchased items into the bag. So they'll bag it for you and they'll talk to you and you can like... What? Yeah, so the system dubbed Raiji Robo, short for Register Robots, debuted at an outlet store in Lawson and Osaka on Monday. This was like 2 years ago. Lawson plans to eventually introduce this machine at stores nationwide to alleviate staff shortages. So it's basically just I have a video here. I'm not going to play the audio, but it's basically just a sort of screen that you get to talk to if you want to, if you have questions, or and they'll sort of, if your internet would work.
You can show me.
And it's just like, it's basically a super fancy self-checkout. And it got me thinking, like, why? And maybe I am more extroverted than most people. One of my favorite things to do at a grocery store is, if they are nice, talk to the cashiers. Now, I will always go to the self-checkout if that's the two options. I'm not just going to be like, man, I really want to talk to someone, so I'm going to stand in line.
That would be sad. That's sad.
No, but I really enjoy talking to them if they want to be talked to. I just enjoy doing that. So, like, the idea of, like, it seems like an extra step to be like, all right, you get to talk to this robot instead of, like, it's almost like, why are they doing this? Why not just self-checkout? But I mean, there are cultural differences. Convenience is not nearly as important to Japanese as just interaction. Mm-hmm. Not that they're extroverted, typically they're not, but like the idea of getting good service, getting good customer service is better than getting convenient customer service, because self-checkout is certainly more convenient than a cashier. It just is. You're gonna get some losses, but most companies have decided that it's easier to just take the losses if somebody steals something or misscans something rather than.
I know someone who was saying very recently, actually, that like when self-checkouts became a thing, mm-hmm. it was like, oh, I'm never going to a person again. Like, sure. I'm exclusively gonna self-checkout from now on. But now, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because he has so much stuff and so much to scan and mm-hmm. bag and it's ridiculous. And he's like, now I never want to use those again. And it's kind of weird how for like years, I don't know, like 10 years, mm-hmm. he's been like self-checkout exclusive. And recently is like, I'm done with this. I'm going back to the person. I want the person.
So he just wants someone to do it for him.
Yeah.
I mean, so I used to work at a grocery store. I worked there for 3.5 years.
I know, you always bag my stuff for me.
We didn't have self-checkout. Like, that was the point of is Publix, if you like, why not? It's not like a local, it's not like a local chain. It's in the Southeast. Is that it was customer service is more important than convenience. So it was the idea of, Publix prided itself on, we do not have self-checkout because then you don't get that interaction, and then the shopping experience isn't a pleasure because you're at Publix and shopping is a pleasure. But now I go into the Publix that I used to work at and they have self-checkout. Oh, that's funny. And I use it because, one, I know a lot of the workers there, I don't want to talk to anybody. And two, it is just more convenient. Now, if there's a robot I'm talking, that is funny too. I hate the robot machines. You ever, in the self-checkout, you accidentally press something and it's like, oh, and they like talk to you. they're like, please put it's annoying, right? Yeah. It's like, please put the please place the bag in the bagging area. It's like, no, I know what to do.
I'm sorry. Do you remember, this is also probably like 2013 or 14. Do you remember when, rather than just like soda things, they got the like really cool one with the round thing in the middle that was touch screen, and you got to like make your own soda? Yeah,
they still have. You mean the ones that like Five Guys?
Yes.
Yes.
They were so cool.
No, they're awesome, but they're just, your soda is going to taste worse. Yeah, because it's like, oh man, I ordered I got a Sprite, but it's mixed with a little bit of the thing that was in the last.
If you get Sprite,
and that's a part of the charm, I think. I don't even want to hear it about Sprite. I have been mocked for my Sprite, for my love of Sprite this weekend. Just like multiple different people have mocked me for my Sprite, but that's a different story for a different time. Do you have any final closing thoughts on our youth?
Our
because
childhood?
Listen. Life is fleeting.
Let's go back.
And life is fleeting. And no, here's the funny thing though. I am so much happier now than I ever was as a kid. And maybe that's because, I don't know, I'm more extroverted, or maybe that's because I'm just, I don't know, healthier.
You know why? You know why? Because now you have a podcast.
You have no idea how untrue that is. Do you have any final thoughts before we head off for this week?
No, I'm good. I like this took me back. I'm tired, sorry.
Yep, this took me back.
Yeah, this took me back. This made me feel nostalgic. Yeah. I have a lot more we could have said. We didn't do half the things we were going to do.
Oh yeah, but here, I mean, and I apologize if none of this means anything to you. I do apologize for that. Like if you are one of our older viewers and you're just like,
stop it.
Well, I don't know, if you're just like, if you don't know what any of this was, sorry, but I mean, we're just, listen, it's just us reliving our past. Yeah. Because this is for us. We don't do it for you. We don't want you to listen. But otherwise, I hope that if any of this rang a bell, I really hope that that's something that made you happy or made you think, oh man, I forgot about that, or anything like that. But be sure, if you're listening to the YouTube version, to comment one of your favorite toys growing up, because we talk mostly about toys. One of your favorite toys growing up, anything like that. And also, just shameless plug here, if you're listening on Spotify, be sure to rate our podcast. And if you're on Apple, be sure to leave a review. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to Barely Barely Besties. I'm Thomas.
I'm Bianca.
See you guys later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Uh-oh.
What?
It didn't record anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
They died.
Bianca.
Oh, for sure. But
it's all done.
It's all done now.
Yeah, it is.